Tuesday in Simpsonville, South Carolina. Hope that you've had a good day today, and I hope that you're going to have a good week. Have you ever watched some things that go along the highway? I remember several years ago, Lois and I were going down the interstate in Florida, and off to the side, around the Gainesville area, if I remember correctly, there was a slab of concrete, about half a block wall on one side of the four sides of what was going to be a building, plumbing fittings sticking up in the middle of the slabs of concrete, and what looked like was going to be a large strip shopping center, but there was no workers, no trucks, no cars. A year or so later, we went by the same location, and it was exactly the same as it was the first time we went by. It's really quite interesting, isn't it? Because you sit there wondering, what happened? Why didn't they ever finish this construction? Well, I was reminded of that this week as I was driving around the Greenville area and saw a huge slab of concrete, plumbing sticking up in the concrete, no wall started at all yet, but grass had grown up all around it, and there were no cars, no trucks, no signs, nothing. It just was sitting blank. When I went by again a week or two later, the same thing. It reminded me of Luke chapter 14, when Jesus was talking about discipleship, when he was talking about following him. It says, "Which one of you, when he wants to build a tower, does not first sit down and calculate the cost to see if he has enough to complete it?" If you were going to get ready to build something like a shopping mall or a large building, wouldn't you calculate all of the costs and all of the involvement that was going to have to be there? Well, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't, and sometimes unexpected things happen. In 1973, Lois and I decided to build a house in Tryon, North Carolina, coming up the mountain, not on the top of the mountain where we are now, but coming up the mountain. We had an engineer that drew the drawings and a home construction company who had done the estimates on what it was going to cost. And lo and behold, we got about 3/4 of the way finished and realized that it was going to cost a lot more than the architect, the engineering firm, the construction company had ever estimated. And there Lois and I were stuck. We'd taken a bank loan out for less than what it was going to cost to build it. We didn't have a lot more left in the bank account. And yet there we were with a building that was only about 80% completed. Well, we did what we had to do. We got out our own shirt sleeves and hammers and saws and paint, and we did all of the work that we could, and we decided that we didn't have to finish out the basement and maybe not right away put a garage door on the garage that was underneath the house. And we decided, well, we were coming up on the winter and maybe we could get by with just heat for a while and not put in the air conditioning. And we did all of the things that we could do to try to finish that house, at least so that we could use it. Jesus said if you're going to follow him, it's like building a tower. You better sit down first and count the cost. Because there is a cost in following Jesus, isn't there? I mean, if you just take in consideration the financial aspects of following Jesus. I mean, Jesus taught tithing. When you decided to follow Jesus, did you decide that you wanted to tithe as well? To be obedient to him, to give 1/10 of what he's blessed you with back to him? When he said to follow him, did you consider the cost of time? How much time there was in learning and growing and serving him, where he would be your priority instead of worldly things? When you decided to follow him, did you decide that it meant taking care of all of those areas of your life that weren't godly, getting those out of your life? You see, there is a cost. And when he was talking about discipleship, he said, be sure you count the cost. Otherwise, it's going to be like somebody that starts to build a shopping mall, or a tower in this case, and didn't have enough to complete it. And it says, and when he had laid a foundation, is not able to finish it, all who observe it began to ridicule him, saying this man began to build, but was not able to finish. Let us count the cost. And let us be sure that we are willing to pay the price, not only to follow him and to find our salvation, but to be obedient in every area of our lives until God should take us home. That's your thought for the day. Hope you count the cost. God bless you and have a great day.